Bossier Parish School Board. We have several rather important matters to discuss this afternoon in limited time, so we're going to try to move quickly if we can. Item number 1, a public hearing for the 2024-2025 budget. That hearing is now in order. Do we have any comments?
Any comment?
I see none. Would you like to make your presentation, please?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Superintendent Rowland, President Bertrand, Chairman Bullard, and members of the board. You received an email last week and then some this week from Ms. Bamberg with the draft of the proposed budget for 24-25. I'm going to go over some of the things that she highlighted, and of course, if you have any questions along the way, please let me know. So you have a packet in front of you that includes a letter, and then the first section of the detail is our general fund budget. Just wanted to, this is a new report in our new system, so just wanted to kind of highlight, explain what the columns are. The second column of numbers is the 23-24 original budget. The second column is the revised budget, and then the third column of numbers is the actuals for 23-24, just to give you an idea of where we were last year. We zeroed out this next column because it was a little bit confusing. And then finally, the column labeled 2025 adopted budget is our 25 proposed budget. We're still kind of working out some of the kinks in our system, so we couldn't get it to say proposed. It says adopted, but it is proposed. Okay, so the first section is our revenues. Just wanted to highlight some things here. We have budgeted about 95% of the ad valorem projection, and this is based on the assumptions that Ms. Bamberg has previously discussed with you. That's the first two lines here under local revenues, constitutional tax and renewable taxes. Those are ad valorem. The next a couple lines down, interest on investments. This is our interest on all of our investments, including our bank accounts. You can see that we have a significant increase in our 24 actuals over the budget. And this is because we started some new investment strategies this year. As you might recall, we are investing in T-bills, CDARS, and LAMP, so that's why we have a significant increase over the budget. However, this year we are budgeting, we're making a very conservative budget estimate just because we don't know where interest rates are going to go. Then if you go down to the next section labeled state revenues, that first line is our MFP that we receive from the state. And this line is budgeted in accordance with the information that we have from the state at this time. It does change periodically throughout the year. This line also does include our estimate for the state supplement that the state is going to give us to pay out to our employees. That's the $2,000 for professional, $1,000 for support. Did want to tell you that we still have not received the money from the state, and we have no guidance on that. So as soon as we get that information, we will come to you with a proposal on paying out that supplement. I know everyone's anxiously awaiting that, but we still don't have it, so there's nothing we can do about it at this time. We will need to amend the salary schedules when that comes in to include that supplement. Did somebody have a question? No. Okay. Going further down, if you look on, we have some page numbers on the bottom right hand. On page 3, the other sources of funds, we have the section called operating transfers in. This is this $109 million line is $40 million from ad valorem for salaries and benefits. We track that in a separate fund, so it's considered in the general fund. It's considered a transfer in. That's why you don't see that line item saying ad valorem. The rest of that line item number is from sales tax. And as we have been discussing lately, our sales tax numbers have been going down for the last 7 months. So the projection in here that we've included for sales tax is actually a 10% decrease in 25 over 24, since we've seen that trend of our sales tax going down. In general, our total revenues that we are projecting is $287.4 million. That total's actually down at the very bottom of the general fund report, which is on page 52. This projection is a 5% increase over '24. So does anybody have any questions about any revenues?
Maura, I just want to echo what Ms. LaShin is saying to us about the work that she and Ms. Bamberg have done to make our money, to try to stretch it as far as we can. The LAMP investments have been a big and major success to us, and by and large, a lot to the increase of the general fund there that you see there, the revenues that we're taking in. It is a liquid investment, and so we watch it daily. But that has been a big benefit, and really the finance department has been really creative in how they're trying to extend every single dollar that the school board has for our expenses.
Anybody else on revenues?
Any questions or comments? Mr. Paulson?
We did confirm that when the live casino opens up, they're going to stick the way that the riverboats have been, and we'll receive revenue from that, the sales tax and stuff like that as well.
We understand that they will comply as other gaming and recreational or gambling entities have in the past.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions? If not, at this time, the chair will accept a resolution regarding adopting a budget for the 24-25 fiscal year.
I was going to go over expenses also, but if you...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just checking on revenues. I'm kind of going in sections.
Please forgive me for...
No, it's fine. I don't want to know. I don't have to go there.
Moving us along.
Okay, sorry. Then our expenses start on page 2, actually on page 4, I believe, and go through page for the next 50 pages. As you know, the largest expense that we have are salary and benefits. There's no significant changes to our salaries this year. This budget does include the state stipend that I mentioned earlier that we have not received yet, but it is budgeted in here. The total expenses for the year are $286.9 million, which is a 4.7% increase over '24. We're estimating a profit of about $445,000, which would cause our fund balance to increase from $63.5 million to $63.9 million, which is a fund balance of 22% of our expenditures. Any questions about expenditures? Page 52, we have several pages that are devoted to various other funds like scholarship, insurance reserve, and our construction funds. On page 112 is the construction fund report. This is a little bit different than the other reports that you'll see in here. Since these are these funds are they go more than 1 year. These reports are designed to show the remaining available budget on these various projects. Page 120 starts our committed construction fund, and you can also see that that's just the remainder of the budgets for the projects that are in there. And then on the last page, which is page 130, is our insurance fund, and Ms. Bamberg has discussed with you also some of the things we've got going on with that fund. So, anybody have any questions about anything else?
Any comments or questions? No, ma'am.
Alrighty, thank you.
Now, once again, we will entertain a motion to accept this presentation and to adopt the budget as presented. We have a motion by Mr. Faulting. Do I hear a second? Second by Ms. Brotherton. Any comment, questions? If not, I'll please vote by raising your hand.
Committee of the whole.
It is unanimous.
Good job. This is a great.
We'll move on to item number 3, approval of differentiated compensation supplement schedule and guidelines. Good. Ms. Howe.
Good afternoon. Members of the board, Mr. Rowland, Chairperson, Mr. Bullard. I'm here tonight to present to you the plan for the differentiated compensation supplement that was earmarked in the 23-24 budget. This has been approved as a funding source last fall. We are moving forward with the spending of those funds. They were earmarked for the fiscal year 23-24, but we were allowed to carry those into this fiscal year. The guidelines were established by the State Department, so we are just following those guidelines as we earmark these funds. We have chosen the 4 options to spend these funds to give a one-time supplement of $1,500 for teachers at our economically disadvantaged schools that have a rate higher than 85%. Those were the guidelines established by the state. There are 9 schools where those teachers will receive that supplement, and it is only for teachers. That was the guideline from the state. Additionally, there's going to be a one-time supplement for $1,500 for instructional coaches as they follow under the definition of teacher leadership positions that was established through these fund guidelines. With a total estimated supplement compensation of $604,328.40. These employees who are on active payroll as of September 16th will be eligible for this supplement, and this will be paid out in their paycheck. Any questions?
Mr. Newman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would first like to make a motion that we accept this differentiated compensation supplement guideline, but I would also like to request that staff explore additional opportunities to compensate these specific employees at these schools to see if the district can provide any additional allotment in addition to what the state gives. So just kind of a
Yes, sir.
to-do list. I would like to see if we, as in the board, can also help provide something in addition to what the state does for our schools that are disadvantaged rate of 85% or higher. Okay? So
Yeah.
kind of carve out that little piece
Yes, sir.
from, not to include the instructional coaches and but the people at these schools, if y'all follow what I'm
Yes, sir.
talking about here.
Okay.
Just explore that and come back
Yes,
to
sir.
us when you can. Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Second. I believe we have a comment. Mr. Rowland?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, when we looked at this, we were awarded a little bit more than we spent. We're going to take into account that there may be some instructional certificated staff that we're missing, just to hold that. But just to let the board know that same approval has been allocated again for this school year. It's not at the same level. We're about $100,000 short of that, but over the $500,000 mark of differentiated compensation has been awarded to Bossier schools again for this year as well. So we'll look to see what we can do in that regard for our teachers again this time next year. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other? Ms. Brotherton?
Thank you. Ms. Howe, are all of the teacher positions at these schools filled at this point? Are we full?
I believe that there may be a couple of vacancies that are being filled by long-term subs or people that are working toward their certification, that they're in process with the state, that we're waiting on those. But those schools are pretty much, I think there's 2 that have a couple of openings, but they are in process of being hired. So yeah, we have been able to fill these positions without the supplement. This is just going to be a little feather for them to incentivize them to do their best job.
But I was just wondering if we get those full, the schools are full.
We are more fully staffed at the beginning of school than we have been in the previous years, so it's looking up.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Faulting?
Yeah, how soon are we giving this to them? Which pay period is it going?
September 16th.
September 16th.
September, so they'll get this September 16th? Okay.
It says at the bottom.
Anything further?
Anything further?
And that's a separate check?
Yes, ma'am.
If not, we have a motion and a second to approve this proposal. All in favor, please raise your hand. It is unanimous.
Thank you, sir.
That completes our agenda. Does anyone have anything to add? If not, we stand adjourned. Thank you.